like Vale has been on the Maypul from the information I have here. So we'll see if that's how it is. I mean, a lot of the times people will like completely switch up who they're playing with just in a couple days. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see any sort of variety from either of these players. But it looks like the fleet is locked in for Ateozc and Vale still selecting their character. We'll see who they go with.
Another fleet up to stream. Character strong. Character's real strong, and so many facets.
It's
Her
funny
game.
because I feel like a lot of people have been putting Fleet on the bottom of their tier lists, and I don't. First off, I don't think people should be making tier lists day one. I just think it's just silly. It's just silly and useless. But I don't know. It just Fleet has so many cool, useful tools. It just feels like every single time she puts you in a blender and you just take so much percent. And there's amazing kill confirms into down air that Fleet can go for. I've been loving watching Fleet play, and I'm excited to see more of it here today. As we hop into this game, it looks like we do have Vale on the Maypul and Ateozc on the Fleet. Who will take it away?
Yeah, I mean, these are two classics when it comes to seeing them around multiple Rivals events. I remember seeing Ateozc at Heatwave when one of the first betas was released. He started messing around with Fleet, and it's like, oh, this is my character. Everything about her is so strong, so unique. And if you put any of these characters below A tier on any of your day one tier lists, you're fooling everybody because all of them are so fun and so strong.
Very true. As already the up strong just really takes that stock right off the top. Love to see that as like a great chase into the skies without having to commit too hard. That's one of the big advantages I think of Fleet is just so many times you can set up a kill or or just more damage, just very little risk to yourself. Throwing that up strong from the ground, there's no way to get punished for it. It's just it's just a way that you can keep the pressure on. But now the pressure is on Fleet as wrapped up, slapped up, and in the corner. And right now Fleet though answering back really well.
Yeah, Ateozc is just playing that high coverage game, utilizing Empowered Bow in a little bit of a different way than we saw Renzo doing it in his game with Fleet. Renzo instead prioritized the pop that came with the Empowered Bow off of something like an up throw. Instead, Ateozc is just playing a more pure spacing game, utilizing the strong hits from the empowerment of the bow, but playing heavily around trapping, spacing, and the delayed hitboxes. Tries to go for the get up special, but is not able to connect. Able to make it back just fine, though, as we play off the ledge. These air characters are known for being so tricky as soon as they start jumping, which can normally be a bit of trouble for Maypul, but seems like Vale is starting to really get a hang on just how Ateozc is moving. Terry coming in clutch.
Just clapping over there in the corner.
Happy boy.
Yeah, so happy. But yeah, it seems really interesting that we're seeing a lot more, I feel like, air-to-air approaches from Maypul this game. A lot less grounded focus, as utilization of the Nair and the Fair is so important for dealing with this air character. As you were talking about, once they're jumping, it's difficult to deal with, but it feels like Maypul has the tools, and Vale is making use of them so well.
Finally catching a land and goes for a potentially a reset once you saw the wrap. You saw a down tilt just slightly misspaced on the part of Vale. But you find some setups, you find that guaranteed damage thanks to the dash attack. Using the down B flip, getting some opportunity, fails the up air, but it's not going to close out the stock quite yet. Didn't get the sweet spot.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that explosion was allowed to hit. Like a lot of times, you're hearing it set up, and you can utilize a defensive option to try to avoid it. But this time, Vale she just tanked it, and it didn't seem to matter.
Hey, she know what hits she can take. And on Merchant Port, you've got a little bit of space to move because of the wideness of the blast zones. It's Ateozc hunting. There's a sweet spot up there to close out of stock. 104. Got a lot more ground to cover, but certainly opportunities to do so. If there's any character that's pretty edge guardable by just a couple of ranged options, it's definitely Maypul, who can have some trouble getting back this stage without utilizing that tether. But you'd much rather use that tether offensively. Any one of those launchers can set up for some up top conversions, and the tether into up air finishing stock 3 game 1 on this set.
Yeah, love that conversion. I feel like the tether is just such a great way to, yeah, extend those combos or just, finish them off. But also it feels a little bit like Fleet's bomb. You have this setup on them. It's already ready to go. And once you get the first hit, once you get something started, it lets you get that finisher just how you like it. So I think it's interesting, both these characters having something they put on the other one, to get them set up for a kill in the end.
Yeah. Fleet having a little bit more autonomy over it. Meanwhile, Maypul having more autonomy while
Yeah.
Maple focuses, while Fleet's it's a little bit more timed. Creates different mechanics, different game states, and unique mechanics is something that Rivals is has no shortage of. As we see the Tether come out there, looking for the uppercut, but Ateozc takes their time coming back. You should break that arrow. Okay, it goes away. It's fine.
Can you tell me what breaking the arrow does?
So when an arrow is empowered on something like once Fleet uses a charge and fires something like a down air, ooh, very nice follow-up. If Fleet misses, the arrow lingers on stage for a bit of time, and the player can go run over and quote-unquote pick back up the arrow, regaining the charge without needing to use any time. But if the opponent runs over it, they break the arrow, and you're not allowed to pick it up anymore.
That makes sense. Yeah, but if the normal arrows are picked up, the non-empowered ones, that doesn't do anything, right?
That doesn't do anything, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I saw those on stage. I knew that the regular ones didn't do anything. The empowered ones, okay, they give the charge back. Thank you. So many mechanics in this game. It's something that I think a lot of people are going to take some time to get used to, but definitely these players seem like they already have a lot of that on lock as they're going back and forth, trading blows. And unfortunately, we did see it earlier. Maypul went a little too hard. Sometimes you do it. Sometimes you got to get that kill. But okay, good tether, right timing for it, making sure not to get punished, and now trying to catch Fleet in the air a little bit harder when she got wings.
Oh, tried to go for the up B finisher up top like that. I love the idea. Forced out the air dodge, but Vale had just the perfect timing, recognizing the up B wouldn't hit, and so you were able to air dodge. Like mentioning, you can air dodge or use a defensive option on reaction to that trigger whenever Fleet does find the autonomous pop.
Yeah,
down shot. Another one.
That's fine to grab it. Okay, catches the DI in.
That was a sick conversion on
kill just yet.
He's letting it rip. He's like, please fall into this dodge strong.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works. This is one of those things where Fleet, I'm not gonna say it has a hard time killing, but it doesn't have a lot of like stray kill options. You have to find those confirms, and once you're at the higher percents, it is a little bit more difficult too. So trying to find something as actually out really poorly as Vale is putting you in the blender right now.
I love once you getting the opportunity to attach Poppy, it's a little bit harder because the special break is what basically everybody should be doing at all times in this version of the game. Oh no!
Unfortunate. Yeah, that does happen. Sometimes you don't quite grab the ledge, or the roll is just that phantom lingering roll stays on the ledge, makes it really hard for you to grab it. Left over from a lot of previous platform fighters. Melee, notably, a lot of people used to complain about how the fact that once you roll off ledge, you can't grab it for so long. But that's the ledge mechanics we're working with now, so something you're gonna have to get used to.
Yeah, still a good showing from both players. But we see Maypul walking away with yet another set, 2 for 2 on Maypul victories here in the Rivals 2 bracket. At least for pools, we're going to be seeing plenty of unique players playing plenty of unique characters, but it kind of establishes some of the opinions of a lot of players lately that Maypul feels good, operates very well in this engine, and if you're looking for a character to pick up and play around with and to learn Rivals 2 with, Maypul might be that character in the same way that Rana was that character for Rivals 1 because his movement, unique mechanics, and ability to abuse hit falling is really strong in that game. Meanwhile, Maypul has a little bit more flexibility within this current engine.
Absolutely. I do want to actually talk a little bit about something you said
Fire away.
earlier. You said the special pummel is sort of like a little bit, it's so strong that basically anybody should be hitting B whenever they get grabbed. What do you think about the utilization of like the regular pummel allowing for regrabs? It removes the chain grab sort of block.
I think it's a amazing balancing factor because chain grabbing is such a it's just, informed in the lexicon of every platform fighter because you see chain grabbing and it just seems like free damage and massive punishes that can lead to so much. But creating a built-in rock paper scissors on top of the rock paper scissors that is in neutral just adds so much like back and forth like depth and information gathering for this game because you're constantly worried about the punishes off of special pummel for especially for characters like Maypul and Claren being able to get the stun off of the special pummel while for some other characters it doesn't have as much effect. uh, so instead they get to focus on individual pummels in order to get regrabs. So
Yeah.
long story short, like it creates a very interesting dynamic between matchup, character awareness, character information,
Mhm.
and expansive punish game for individual characters and for you more macro player bases if you're able to find any of those chain grabs. Like